Well,
You
now we
get
know
guaranteed.
that.
We can
You
book
know
the
what?
side characters.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Oh, oops.
Do not go to his house.
Okay, we can just use him.
Heartbreak.
Or else you'll be subjected to roleplay.
I mean, we could just reject him. And be like, no. Or we can just
Fuck
go
you.
straight. No. Let's go.
Reject him.
Goodbye. Exploration over.
Bon voyage, Mayu.
It was a fun time. I'm not your
Little life.
Kimi-chan though.
I can't be your Yukimi-chan.
Oh boy, on my way back to the clinic, I passed by the park. And I spotted someone coming my way and it stopped short. It was Taku. Was his errand finally finished? He noticed me and made a beeline right to me. His expression looked stiff and tense in a way I couldn't place. All done.
Yeah. Did you eat lunch?
Yeah, with Ray.
Gotcha. I was hoping I could meet up with you too, but it looks like I didn't make it in time. He smiled. Oh.
He smiled wearily. For a split second, something felt off. Did you talk to Ray?
No.
Where's your car?
At the clinic?
He looked at me dubiously. Possibly he wasn't expecting me to ask him a barrage of questions. If you didn't talk to Ray, then where were you going to meet up with us?
Well, we usually go to Yanagawa Cafe for lunch, right? I peeked in over there, but I couldn't find you, so I was just on my way back. Did Ray already take off?
He went to visit a friend at work.
Gotcha. Actually, that reminds me.
He narrowed his eyes.
I saw a fist fight happening on the sidewalk on my way here. It looked like two Takasato goons.
Anyone we know?
Recognize the faces, but couldn't tell you the names. Looked like Igarashi-kun was right. The Takasato Gumi's falling apart right now, so don't go wandering around.
A hint of irritation rose up inside me. I already had this conversation with Igarashi. Little late to be worrying about it now, don't you think?
No, it isn't. Live here for long enough and you get used to all the crime, but if you don't start keeping your wits about you, you'll be in for a world of hurt.
You think I don't know what this town is like?
Toa!
It doesn't matter when or where I die. I don't care.
Oh my god.
With that, I turned away from him. He's so angsty. I knew he was just worried about me. Obviously, I understand that. But it pissed me off whenever he tried to control what I did with my own life.
So rebellious teen.
He's like 16 again. Given how long
he never grew up.
Yeah. Sometimes it felt like he still saw me as a kid.
Oh my god.
Exhaling, I headed out to the clinic without looking back. He just stormed away.
Yeah, Taki just let him go.
Why is he drawn like that?
He's all hunched over, little creature.
It's not the best CG. Is that what we look like, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh god, I gotta fix my posture.
I was sitting on the sofa, a sketch pad on my knee, drawing away. I didn't have any clear idea of what I wanted to draw. I was just scrawling dark lines like I was trying to get something out of my system. He's venting!
The art. Just like Taki dead.
The TV droned endlessly. And I paused to check the clock. Suddenly it was past 1 a.m. Having lost my focus, I touched my sketch pad into the coffee table. There was a light crinkling sound as I hit the paper bag full of sleeping pills. Come to think of it, I still haven't talked to Taku about my new prescription. I should have mentioned it earlier in the afternoon, but then he pissed me off by trying to get dictated my life. The memory angered me all over again. Physical pain I was used to. These chronic health problems, on the other hand, didn't have a clear solution. the sleeping pills were causing it, then I had to stop taking them. The clinic was closed, but Taki was probably still downstairs. With that thought, I left the room and boarded the elevator. Arriving at the ground floor, I walked down the hallway to the exam room and heard Taki's voice coming from inside. Another phone call? He was speaking in hushed tones, so it was hard to make anything out. For a moment, I considered barging in, but thought better of it.
Good for him.
These phone calls had grown more and more frequent lately. Was someone harassing him, or did he get dragged into some kind of mess? Were these phone calls the reason he kept acting strangely? Curious though I was, I had no intention of forcing it out of him. I didn't want to meddle in his life any more than I wanted him to meddle in mine. The sleeping pills weren't something I needed to take. I could get a decent amount of sleep if I got drunk. ... Exhaling quietly, I turned and headed back down the hall. Then I lay on the sofa and drifted in and out of sleep until morning. Absently, I stared at the white light streaming in through the blinds. Just then, the door opened.
Oh.
I could see Taku peeking in through the gap.
Toa, wake up, it's morning.
He walked out with that single foot inside. My brain was still half asleep, so for a moment I wasn't entirely sure what had happened. I just stared blankly at the door. What was that about? Normally, Taku always came to my room to wake me. Was he busy dealing with some emergency? Not babying me?
Huh?
I thought that just happened. Something fell off.
He's not paying attention to me.
It's smoke. Taku's smoke was swaying erratically. Was he just that exhausted? It didn't explain why he wouldn't enter my room, though. As I pondered, I got dressed and left the apartment. It was just past 9 o'clock, still plenty of time before the clinic opened. I walked down the hall and opened the exam room door. Inside, I found a man dressed in a suit. It was Igarashi. As Taku bandaged his arm, he noticed me and smiled.
Toa-san, good morning.
You're here early.
When I came by last time, I was told to come back in 3 days, but this is the only time I had available. So I called to ask if I could come in, and here I am. Really sorry about this, Doc. Looks angry.
Pissed. Don't worry about it.
It's awful. Taku answered stoically as he continued his task. I took one look at him and narrowed my eye. Something about Taku was slightly off today, his smoke included.
How's the Takasato Gumi? Are they doing okay?
Well, we're hanging in there for now, at least.
Sakaki-san's in a spat with Tono-san, right? It's probably gonna get worse from here.
Well, yeah, you might be right.
Taku fell silent for a moment.
I feel really awful about what I'm about to say, but...
With that disclaimer, he gave Igarashi a stern look.
Once I finish treating this injury, I need you to stay away from the clinic until things settle down.
What?
Igarashi looked back at him, perplexed.
When there's other patients around, I mean, they can sense the tension and it makes them uncomfortable.
Oh, right.
Guiltily, Igarashi slumped his shoulders. I understood where Taku was coming from. The average citizen of Senkomi had a very low opinion of the Takasata Gumi. They just knew better than to state it outright. The more trouble that Takasata Gumi was involved in, the worse their reputation would become. But there was something off about Taku's tone and expression. I sensed a way to it that suggested he was panicked somehow.
Calling it the pain doesn't go away on its own.
Understood. Thank you, Doctor. Really sorry about this.
Igarashi bowed deeply, and it was clear he was apologizing for the inconvenience of the schedule this morning.
No, you're fine. If anything, I ought to apologize myself.
No, you're completely right. Anyways, thanks again. I'll be going now.
Igarashi rose from the chair, bowed once more, and left the exam room. Taki stared at the floor, his shoulders slumped. Then, with a sigh, he reached up and massaged the furrow in his brow. If you're tired, go get some rest. At this, his hand fell still.
Is it obvious?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
He looked down at his feet, then let out a self-deprecating sigh.
Gotta say, I wish I could rest on command, but it ain't that easy.
Keep it up, and your patients will start nagging you too.
They already do.
Guess you're a lost cause.
Dot.
If you absolutely refuse to rest, then knock yourself out. I straightened up and walked out the door.
Tot.
At the sound of my name, I looked over my shoulder. I could see hesitation in his eyes as he frowned at me.
I admit, you're right. If I keep pushing myself to the point I make mistakes in work, I'll only create bigger problems.
Resolve set into his expression as he rose from his chair.
But after closing the clinic yesterday with no advance warning, it would be the height of rudeness to do it twice in a row. I'll make it a half day and tell the staff I'm taking the morning off.
Gonna take a nap or something?
Now, see, there's this place I've been wanting to visit for a long time. So, since I have the opportunity, I figure I'll give myself a nice change of pace. Want to tag along? I'm about to go.
I was about to decline, but the words never left my lips. Stop stealing my lines! His head just spasmed and changed color, and his eyes were tinged with melancholy. Sure. Oh, wait. Yeah.
Alright then, go get ready. Oh! Relieved, Taku grabs his cell phone off the desk.
Probably again, people scheduled to work later today. Man, have fun peeing or shitting. As for me, I left the exhibit and headed back to my apartment.
Oh boy.
After a 30-minute drive in Taku's car, we crossed over the bridge and arrived at Sunkomi Seaside Park. How nice!
Wow.
On the boardwalk. We stopped the car in a parking lot, then hopped out. Strange breeze carried the smell of the sea to my nose as it blew against my cheek. Without a word, Taku started walking, then came to a stop once the ocean came into view. I walked up beside him and pulled out my cigs.
You really are a heavy smoker, eh?
Taku glanced at me out of the corner of his eye and smiled wryly. Cigarettes are my food and water.
No, you still need food and water, damn it. Otherwise you'll kick the bucket.
Want one? After I lit up, I offered him my crumple pack. He's very ugly from the side. Still smiling, he shook his head.
Don't tempt me, I already quit.
Doesn't make it. You crave one when I'm standing here, smoking one myself.
You're always smoking whether I'm with you or not. I'm used to it by now.
Taki looked out to the sea. I followed suit, slowly exhaling. Carried on the breeze, the cigarette smoke floated over the water until it eventually dispersed. The seaside park was vast and empty, probably due to the freezing temperature outside. Old folks and dog walkers occasionally passed by, but that was about it. I could see a Ferris wheel in the distance, but no one was riding it. Do you get it right? The wheel? Fair is real. Fair is real.
Well, Ferris wheel date.
It was painted in bright colors and spinning slowly like the wind was pushing it along.
When I look out at the water, I find myself wondering, what the hell am I doing with my life?
His words were so faint that Wayne nearly whisked them away. I looked at him, but he kept staring out at the sea, grimacing.
I always hoped this big empty space would clear my head. I thought it would make me feel better. Turns out I feel worse.
He exhaled and fell silent for a moment.
I'm a doctor. I want to save as many lives as I can, but right now, dozens are dying while I'm standing here shooting the breeze. A human life can end so quickly, especially at the hands of another. Looking at it that way, it starts to feel like our deaths are predestined and no amount of flailing can save us from it. This is stuff I think about from time to time.
Okay.
Especially when folks die young. Really makes me think we humans can never truly get everything we want. What do you think, Toa?
I didn't have an answer ready. A smoke rose from the tip of my cigarette. I gazed out at the ocean. Beats me.
Stop and think about it for a minute, would ya?
As he pressed, I shot him a sidelong glance. His smoke was shifting. It was trembling, its colors flashing restlessly. Maybe he wanted to talk about it. Maybe he wanted me to ask him. ... Sunset! I looked into his eyes, unblinking.
Oh.
Oh.
Is this a choice?
Oh no.
Oh no. Wait, let me do an official save. What do you think? Oh! Ruh-roh.
Epic.
Oops, let me just move things over.
I think it's a waste of time to think about it. Nobody knows for sure when they're gonna die.
Well, you're not wrong there. Respond rationally, make a suggestion. I forgot what is the... Are we trying to get Euphoria?
I think so.
Okay. Suggestion?
I guess. Instead, why not focus on the people you're capable of helping?
Right. Oh.
Seriously, you're wasting your time asking me.
You sure? I was curious to get your take. And sometimes it's important to have a conversation face to face. Respond sarcastically, play long.
No, be nice to him. He's sad.
I say fuck you. Respond sarcastically.
Okay, Carrie, put on your vote right now. Negative or positive? Just pick, Daddy. Respond sarcastically or play along.
I can't help but be sarcastic. So
okay, respond sarcastically is what Peacock said.
Okay.
That's just me.
Negative.
Even in that conversation is stupid.
Oh.
If you want to get pedantic about it, yeah. Oh, why does it keep going higher?
He's going insane.
Toa, how old are you turning this year? You'll be 27. 27!
Oh my god, he's almost 30. He's like this.
No.
In March, right?
I think so.
You don't remember?
What about you? How old are you again?
Oh.
Oh! Double!
Wait, so Toa's 27?
Toa's 27. Taku is
26. Because he'll be 27 in March.
Oh. And Taku
it's
is
10 years.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, double.
Naruto Toa was 10. He was 20.
Okay, joke around a little or purposely avoid answering. I'll let Carrie pick because she's mad about my dad having more votes than her. Come on, Carrie, you gotta be fast. You have 10, 9, 8, 7. Oh, joke around a little or purposely avoid answering? Joke around.
You're so goofy.
Okay, we need some lightheartedness.
Jeez, you're ancient.
Yep, I'm a decrepit old man, your point. Oh. Are you really?
The second one.
Disappointed that I'm interested in your age? Or are you really that old? I just don't see it.
Second one, bro.
Okay, we'll see. Quick save.
I don't think you can go wrong. I think he likes everything you say.
Yeah, he's just an OG-san.
It's just, he'll go insane if you say something mean. Does it bother you that I'm interested in your age?
No, I don't care that much. Oh.
He's going insane!
I just don't see it or say nothing. I feel like it's not gonna give as much.
Okay.
Oh, or are we gonna compliment him by saying he doesn't look that old?
So you don't look that old for your age.
Right. Are you really that old? I just don't see it.
Spare me your cheap flattery.
Oh. I didn't like that. What is he struggling with?
Studying? Nasty rumors?
Nasty rumors.
Oh, maybe it is nasty rumors. That's why he's getting phone calls. Be like, is that true?
I'm not a pedo!
Are you an organ donor?
Hey, if he's an organ donor, that's not a bad thing. He's giving his organs
no,
out.
No, like a black market organ donation.
Oh.
What's the other one? Overprotective. Maybe it's the overprotectiveness.
Okay, we'll quick save. I feel like it's rumors, but... Oh. Aww. Not gonna stop being so protective. Maybe stop putting yourself in danger. Uh-oh.
No.
Is it not supposed to be going higher? I feel like this.
I don't know.
I feel like it's not supposed to be going higher. Because...
Okay, yeah. I don't know what it's doing.
Studying or rumors?
Let's go rumors.
Heard.
No!
Okay, stop listening to me! Don't listen to my anymore!
Oh, okay, we'll just listen. Just ignore and they'll go away. Okay. Benkyo.
What? Studying on something? I thought studying would be a nothing.
No, because he's like been like being sneaky about what he's studying.
Yeah, that's why I thought it didn't matter.
Oh. So what are you studying? Huh? Oh. Studying. A lot of stuff, really. Lots of stuff I gotta do. Mm-hmm. Crickets.
That was really insightful. Thank you, Haku.
Yes, I am studying lots of things.
Things. You wouldn't know them.
What it'll be. I still have some time. Time for what?
Who fucking knows? Why'd you quit smoking?
Well, it's not good for you. Respond half jokingly. Ask another question.
Half joke.
Half joke.
HJ/HJ.
Okay.
SRS for series. If you want to be healthy, then I guess you better change your whole lifestyle.
You got me there. I can't think of a comeback.
Got me there.
How does it make you feel when I smoke around you? I'm interested to know. Or say nothing.
Are you interested?
Yeah. Tell him.
Okay.
Ask him. That's more question. How does it make you feel when I smoke around you? I'm interested to know.
It's a little distracting. Sometimes I still catch myself trying to pull out a pack. Oh.
It's not often you talk to someone the way you spoke to Igarashi.
Oh, that. Yeah, I probably should have phrased it better. He looks guilty. Warn him. Kiss up a bit.
Ooh, kiss up.
Kiss. Mwah.
Taku. He got the picture at least.
That was my intention, but I could have tried a little harder to be nice about it.
Did you hear the latest about Asakura?
No, what's going on now? Vague or plain?
Just tell him, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
He's leaving Shinkomi.
I see.
Oh, you didn't like that.
You're awfully chatty today. You know that? Are you trying to cheer me up? If so, thanks.
Dot.
Make a joke, play along.
His jokes suck.
I agree.
I see. Play along then.
Jokes. Yeah.
Positive. Ah, so.
You're the one who said it's important to have a conversation sometimes.
I sure did. You told me to stop and think about it, and now I'm interested, or say nothing.
That one.
Okay.
You told me something about it.
I just felt like it, that's all. Oh. What Taku wants. Overprotective? I don't see how it could be nasty rumors.
No, I guess it's overprotective, but it was already the other one.
Yoink.
He wants a son. And also a lover.
He wants both at the same time. People ever tell you that you're overprotective of me? Sure, partly since I've known you since you were a kid, but mostly just because you're so damn reckless. I want to protect the people I care about as much as possible. That's why I became a doctor, to help people. Something seems off. We've talked quite a bit. Yeah.
What did that accomplish? He didn't learn anything new.
Maybe if he like answered weirdly or like did something different, we either go on Taku route or we don't go on Taku route. And I don't know which one we got. So been a while since you and me had a nice one-on-one. Yeah.
I generally wasn't the chatty type. But because I'd known Taku and Ray for so long, I had an easier time making small talk with him. Lately, though, I hadn't had the opportunity, especially not with Taku.
Since you're here, why are you talking about something? Anything?
About my sleeping pills.
Yeah, are they working for you?
No, I don't think so.
What kind of side effects are you experiencing specifically?
I feel like shit when I wake up. Headache, nausea, dizziness. All he does is complain. Brownie, he averted his eyes in contemplation.
Your body might need a couple days to get used to him. If nothing changes after 2 or 3 days, let me know.
Got it.
What about your nightmares? Still having them?
Not lately.
That's good. Alright, let's head back.
I dropped my cigarette and crushed it under my heel. Scowling, Taku reached into his pocket.
I'm not just gonna let you litter on the... Whoa!
Something round tumbled out of his pocket and hit the ground.
It's drugs.
It would stop rolling. I recognized it as a portable ashtray.
Uh-oh.
Prior as I went to grab it, my hand collided with Taku's as he moved to do the same. The moment our fingers touched, he whipped his hand away.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Forcing a smile, he took the ashtray from my hand, then picked up my cigarette butt and put it inside. Didn't something similar happen on New Year's Eve, too? Why did Taku always overreact whenever our hands touched? What?
Let's go back to the car.
He started walking at a brisk pace. This has happened twice now. Was he just a germaphobe, or... No, it couldn't be. Taku wasn't like that. I was probably just overthinking it. Right? Puzzled, I followed after him.
He'd be like, oh, gasp. With our hands
She's
touched.
not a gay person. We left the park and traveled to the diner, where we ordered lunch. Partway through, Taku's cell phone started to put a buzz on the table.
Sorry, I'm getting a call.
With my blessing, he answered the phone.
Hello?
As the call began, Taku's expression grew steadily more and more panicked. When it was over, he announced that we were going straight back to the clinic.
Uh-oh.
The reason for this soon made itself apparent. All over social media, there were articles announcing that the Takasada Gumi had attacked during the executive meeting. The phone call was a request for Taku to treat the injured. He seemed hesitant, but ultimately agreed. By the time we arrived back at the clinic, a station wagon was already parked in the alley in front of the side entrance. Some Takasada goons hopped out, carrying a man who was bleeding from the stomach. Then another station wagon pulled up, and more wounding came spilling out of it. Just like that, the secondary medical ward was now fully booked. Once Ray, Arimura, and the other staff members arrived, we all worked together to tend to the Takasada patients. There were 4 casualties in total, 3 minor and 1 critical. When it came time for the clinic to open for afternoon appointments, Taki raced downstairs and came back up later. Rinse and repeat.
Oh boy. Like grind set.
Late that night, after a roller coaster of a day, Ray and I sat slumped in the empty waiting room. Taku had sent the other staff home. He was still on the second floor watching over the critical patient.
First we were closed yesterday, then Taku took off this morning, and then a giant, oh, he said a bad word. Cluster F word happened right afterwards. Feels like one thing after another these days, you know?
Uh-oh.
2 minutes, staggered inside.
Help, please. It is an emergency.
One of them was Igarashi. The other was slumped against him. He looked to be nearly unconscious.
Yeah.
Startled, Ray bolted to his feet.
Igarashi-kun, what happened? Something's wrong with him. He's got Xeno.
He starts eating them.
No, he's craving flesh.
Wait, right here.
Ray ran behind the reception counter and picked up the phone.
Everything.
Emergency. I am. Hey, do not rush me. Emergency patient. Igarashi-kun brought him in. He looks like he's unconscious. Right, got it. I'll escort them.
He set the phone down, then looked at Igarashi.
Get your friends to the secondary medical ward. I'll go in and get things set up. Towa, you help Igarashi couldn't carry him.
And with that, he sped off and disappeared down the hall. I rose to my feet, moved around to the patient's opposite side, and slung his arm over my shoulder. Sorry about this, Towa-kun. Forget about it. Let's go. And so Igarashi and I slowly made our way to the elevator. When we entered the secondary medical ward, we found the critical patient all patched up and preparing to leave. We carried the unconscious man to an empty bed and laid him down on his back. His eyes were open, but he wasn't looking at anything. I think he might be dead.
Oh.
His complexion was as pallid as a mannequin. Drool trickled from the corner of his mouth. I really think he might be dead.
What's his name?
Taki stormed over, his expression hard.
He's hard. It's Okamoto, who might be dead.
Okamoto-san, can you hear me? Okamoto-san?
The man didn't respond. Even when Taki spoke directly to his ear.
Maybe.
No use. How'd he get like this?
About that, I'm not really sure. 1 minute he was screaming and raging, and the next he just passed out on the floor.
Dude, it's the demon from GMZs.
Oh god. No, Rhyme's back!
Oh my god. I can't say for sure until I run some tests, but I suspect narcotics.
Drugs? Oh god, it's like Tugainu.
Oh no, it's all the games you want.
Oh my god, it's a little damaging right now.
A shocked pain grimace rose upon Igarashi's face.
Any idea what it could be?
But I heard that there's a new drug going around. ... I hate to think it's that. Demo.
New drug, you say?
Hi. You know how our organization controls what kind of drugs are allowed to be sold in Shinkomi? Well, people can still get around that by buying stuff online. I see it happening every now and then, but this is the first time it's gotten this bad. And one of us too.
Murmuring, Taki furrowed his brow.
No. He's so ugly.
He looks like the fucking hype mic guy.
Who?
The lawyer?
Send picture.
Hold on.
Okay, I'll read then.
He's so ugly. He looks like Jacksepticeye or something.
Just...
no. Who was the blue-haired one? Craig Games?
Ninja?
Ninja. Starts playing Fortnite.
That's Fortnite dancing.
Just then, Okamoto started groaning and shaking his head. His eyes were still unfocused, but he was trying to move his shaking hands. Taku crouched down and spoke to him. Okamoto-san, can you hear me? If you can hear me, say something. Ghosts. The ghost, help me. Ghost. Okamoto closed his eyes and went limp. Apparently he's passed out. Taku shot a confused look over at Igarashi.
There's a rumor going around actually. Something about seeing the ghost of a gang member who's supposed to be dead.
A ghost?
I see. Well, let's give him a chance. Okay, give him some time for his condition to stabilize. Igarashi-kun, you're free to go.
Thank you, sir. And sorry about, causing more trouble. Especially after what you said to me this morning.
The doctor's job to save his patients.
Emotionally distraught, Igarashi bit his lip and bowed deeply.
Thank you for all your help.
No problem.
What a hero.
Then looked at me and Ray.
So, can you keep an eye on Okamoto-san? Ray, come with me. We gotta check the other patients.
After that.
Hey,
Hey!
You're so slow!
Don't yell at me! I'm busy.
Oh my god, then I'm gonna take over your lines then,
Oh, you cannot wait 1 minute? 1 second?
Yes, because it slows everything down, Evelyn!
Recording production.
Now I have to do more editing.
After Taco and Ray moved to a different bed, Igarashi looked at me hesitantly.
I'm literally gonna not say anything for a minute.
Oh my god.
His gaze darted to and fro, then he shook his head.
Never mind. Sorry. Look out there for me, okay?
It was obvious he wanted to say something, but instead he bit back with a stiff smile. Then he bowed and left the room. About an hour later, Taku, Ray, and I all came downstairs to the waiting room. Taku looked utterly haggard. He rubbed the crease in his brow.
Taku, daijoubu?
After all that, I'm ready to admit I'm bushed.
His voice was weak, and I could see dark circles under his eyes.
You worked so hard today. Honestly, you amaze me sometimes. You refuse to abandon anyone in need, even if they were a yakuza. He's like really in love. I really admire that about you.
Ray sounded like he was trying his best to cheer Taku up. But Taku grimaced like he was holding something back.
Taku does not like flattery.
Doesn't, bitch.
I really appreciate all your help today. I bet you're both exhausted. I'll handle the rest, so go and get some sleep.
Aww.
Ray looked back at him in shock.
Demo.
Really, I'm okay. Go home and get some rest, you too, Toa.
Oh.
He turned and walked off down the hall. Once his footsteps had faded, Ray looked at me in alarm.
Did I, press the wrong button somewhere?
Pretty sure he's just tired.
Oh. How was he this morning?
He seemed tired.
He's been like that for a long time now. Hope he's okay.
Just then, my phone buzzed in the back pocket of my pants. Simultaneously, Ray pulled out his own phone.
Oh, it's AG's newsletter. What does it say?
It says breaking Takasatogumi under attack. Executives confirmed to be safe.
I hear of nurses.
Where?
Oh.
Tiny text.
Oh.
God. That little bastard.
The instant he read the newsletter, he flew into a rage.
Rage. These stupid rumors. This is crossing the freaking line. You can't just libel people for fun.
Unlike last time, this rumor is pretty harsh. Where did it come from?
I swear to God, I'm going to give that a-hole a piece of my mind.
Ray started swearing furiously, proudly writing a strongly worded email to IG.
Oh, he said a hate mail. Sent. Huh. I'm totally furious. But whatever, I'm going home. Have a good night.
With a frustrated sigh, Ray shot me a quick wave and then walked off to the staff room. I left the waiting room and took the elevator to the 3rd floor. In the darkness, I pulled off my coat and lay on my back, on the sofa as the TV's white light illuminated me. The sound of static was a constant in my life, and I quickly tuned it out. Instead, my ears started to pick up the faint sound from the lower floors. It sounded like Taki was doing something in the secondary medical ward. Then the sound faded, and static was all that filled the void. Suddenly, a thought occurred to me. Was Taki still struggling with something all on his own? Granted, I know it wasn't easy to open up and talk about that thing, but still. Dr. Dwight. I reached out to the coffee table and grabbed a blister pack of sleeping pills. After all that running around today, for once I actually wanted to sleep. I popped 2 pills, then grabbed a bottle of booze off the floor and washed them down. Once I returned,
drinks water.
I don't think so. I think he would die if he drank water.
Yeah.
It's too concentrated of liquid. Like.
Oh yeah.
His blood would like shrivel up. Once I returned the floor bottle, and I was on the floor.
And he went me.
No, me. Slow damage.
Pseudo damage. Cebu.
I really want McDonald's.
Oh boy, you should get the 2-for-1 flurry deal.
I don't have that here.
Are you sure?
At my McDonald's, at least, like I go in the kiosk and all it says is like small fries.
What? Do you have the app? You gotta get the app. Over the summer, I was like a regular because I'd always get the fucking $1 iced coffee, and so every day it was always the same lady, and she would hand me the coffee and just look at me with like contempt. So I was like, hi, I'm back. Hi. Through blurred vision, I could faintly make out swing scarlet light. Every time it undulated, it felt like it was making a mockery of me. Just then, something blocked out the light.
Oh.
Who's that?
The figure of a man was standing over me. I couldn't see his face, but for some reason, I was relieved that he was there. Teapot. Now I could finally relax a little. I was felt secure and he was around.
Oh, and then until father left.
But then the man pulled away and a smaller figure took his place. It was a woman.
I think someone hates a woman.
No, look how scared he is. Ah!
He's scared of womanophobia.
Oh no. Toa.
Honestly, my anxiety came rushing back. I could see the man moving farther and farther away. Don't go. I tried to speak but couldn't. How she got so close? The woman before me was saying something.
Oh god.
For your sin. Together, we...
Double suicide.
Her voice was too muffled and it was hard for me to parse. Confused, I began to hyperventilate. The scarlet light flushed my eyes. Scarlet. Again and again and again. Is he gonna hex himself?
Oh my god.
Go into his mind palace.
He's so crazy.
Don't go. My eyes flew open and I sucked in a breath. When I realized it was all a dream, I exhaled slowly. My whole body was slick with sweat, and I was wheezing like I just ran a marathon. Just then, I sensed someone's presence directly beside me.
Oh my god!
Ah! Back up!
Oh my god.
Taki was looking at me in surprise. What was he doing here?
Yeah, what is he doing here?
His gaze shifted downward to my cock.
Oh. Oh.
Nipples.
No!
Oh my god.
I followed it and realized that I was clutching his hand in mine.
You're like, oh! Gross!
Reflexively, I pulled away. Clearing his throat, he did the same. Listen, how long had I been holding his hand? My palm was sweaty. How did it happen?
You okay?
His voice was stiff, like he was trying to ignore the awkwardness. What are you doing here?
Can't do wake you, but you're groaning in your sleep, so I walked over to check on you, and then you grabbed my hand.
Awkward.
He answered briskly, frowning.
You have another nightmare?
Nightmare. I repeated the word, trying to recall the dream. I can't remember the details, but I remember thinking, don't go! Was I chasing someone? I couldn't recall.
Maybe the new meds aren't a good fit.
Maybe.
True! Maybe they weren't. Still, the dream felt a little different from usual. I sat up on the sofa, grabbed my cell phone off the coffee table. It was 10 a.m. The clinic was about to open!
Oh no.
I was supposed to work this morning! That was probably why Taku came to wake me up.
Get a little more rest, then come downstairs.
Nah.
You see what you look like? You'll give our patients a damn heart attack.
He pressed slightly against my arm to stop me, then straightened up.
Oh, I'll ask if I can get anyone to cover you, but if all else fails, Ray's here, it'll work out.
Doesn't Ray actually do stuff? With that, he left the room. Alone, I grabbed the remote and switched on the TV.
Oh, it's on TV.
It's a right brain.
The iPad kid.
As I listened to the empty static, I lay back down on the sofa. Then I dragged my arm over my eyes and exhaled. I was still drowsy, possibly a residual effect of the sleeping pills. As I drifted in and out of consciousness, I heard a light knock at the door. I lowered my arm and looked in the direction of the entrance. It was Taku! He had only just left. What was he doing back?
Hello?
Then I realized what time it was. The clock was pointing 12 p.m. Only a lot of time had passed since I first lay down.
How are you feeling now?
Once again, I pushed myself up into a sitting position. My head was still a little heavy, but I didn't feel as shitty as before. Better.
You're thinking of work this afternoon? I've got Junko covering your shift, but they can only stay for another hour.
I'll be there.
Alright, take your time and come downstairs when you can.
Though he was trying to be considerate, I could sense his impatience from the way he rushed out the room. Well, at least he was acting like his usual self. No sign of any troubles on his mind. I rose to my feet and walked to the fridge. Then I pulled out a cold bottle of sake and took a swig. Yum yum. I was having a stiff drink that wake me up, and sure enough, my mind cleared up a bit.
Oh.
Oh. Oh my god, just like Alba.
This like blue. Destroy.
Oh destroy.
Okay, and Yuji. He did this shit too.
Oh my god.
All of them have mental illness.
Destroy.
A flash of scarlet light flickered in my mind. I knew it was a residual image from my nightmare, but it vanished before I could fully perceive it. What was causing me to have these recurring nightmares? The sleeping pills were just a catalyst. Was there some kind of trauma buried in my forgotten past?
Mm-hmm.
You're telling me I have scars on the outside and the inside? Great. What a joke.
Oh my god. That's so edgy.
Scoffing at myself, I got ready for work and headed downstairs. Time flew by, and the next thing I knew it was 4 p.m. Ray came walking down the hallway carrying mail supplies in both hands. He stopped next to the reception counter and leaned in my direction.
Hey, I've got a question for you. Has the exam room always been that much of a mess?
I ruminated on it for a moment. I did vaguely remember the exam room always having a bit of clutter. Didn't seem like that big of a deal. Yeah, I think so.
No, it hasn't. I'm saying it's a pigsty in there. Taco hasn't been cleaning up after himself at all, but he's doing your chores for you, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh my god. I guess he's the type who puts other people first. Oh, another thing. Did you know he's been leaving the clinic every lunch break?
To go by lunch, I would assume.
No, actually, yesterday, Honami told me they often see him downtown around lunchtime.
Honami is a good friend of Ray's. When they weren't working at Roost, they came in to work shift at the clinic. And there's none of our on-call nurses who worked at Roost. I'm telling you, he's just grabbing lunch.
Think about it. Taku's the type of guy who either eats while he works, eats in your room, or invites us along with him. He's been turning down all my invites, claiming he's too busy. So when Honami told me they saw him downtown, I was like, huh?
Perplexed, Ray tilted his head. Why don't you just ask him directly?
Nervous. I was gonna, but lately he's like kinda hard to approach, no offense. I feel like he's super on the edge or something, you know?
He's gonna jump.
Oh god.
That I can understand. I was probably feeling that something was off about him. Same as me.
Oh, and also, like, this is probably just some dumb misunderstanding, so I'm sorry if I'm overthinking it, but...
He glanced around, struggling to find his words, then whispered even more quietly.
You know the patient Igarashi-kun brought in? The drug addict? Do you know what happened to him? Like, he was moved to a total different facility?
No. I hadn't known anything of the sort.
Right, I guess not. I just know he seemed to have vanished. Oh my god, he got killed!
Oh no!
Maybe Taku decided he was stable enough to just go home, but it feels weird when that patient just gone without a trace.
He gazed at me imploringly.
The thing is, this isn't the first time this has happened, but I always told myself that I was overthinking it. Told myself that Taku had just sent them home. Oh my god.
Oh my god, he is killing them.
Oh my god, organ donor!
Oh my god, Eiji was not lying. He never lies.
He knew. But now, because Taku's been acting weird, so weird lately, it feels like there's gotta be more to it this time. I tried asking him indirectly, but he dodged the question.
Looked away inside.
I hate feeling like we're one wrong step away from a catastrophe. Maybe he's just in a bad mood. I hope I'm just being paranoid.
He left on the other side, then walked off down the hall. Joey had picked up on the fact that Taku was hiding something. Ray found himself unable to ask about it. I told Taku he didn't want to talk about it to him. Taku wasn't the type to lie. Once the secret got too big to hide, would he finally come clean? With that thought, I called the next patient up to pay their bill.
Or at least not a pedo.
Yeah, I'd rather he kill people than be a pedo.
True.
In winter, the sun was always quick to set. As night fell, we received more and more patients, particularly those in less than scrupulous professions. The end of my shift was approaching, and a common visitor walked in.
Oh.
Who is that?
You!
Other love interest?
Oh boy. You're
so serious.
He was wearing a suit and glasses, with his hair slicked back and a heavy leather briefcase in hand. He didn't look like a gangster, nor did he appear to work at a host club. Upon entering the waiting room, he stopped short and looked around. His gaze was calm and calculating, like he was sizing up the place. Since he was so different from the rest of our clientele, the patients all looked at him with suspicion. Are you here for an appointment? Only then did he finally seem to notice I existed. He walked to the counter. He was a sexy man's voice.
Sorry, I'm not good at sexy men.
Me neither.
I can just try to lower mine. Pardon the intrusion.
Yeah,
Here's my card.
Epic. He pulled out a small case from the inner pocket of his blazer and gave me one of the business cards from inside. Fujita,
The lawyer.
Fujita Rio, attorney at law. I looked up and scrutinized his face. Just then, a memory flashed to my mind. Where had I seen this man before? Oh, that's right. He was with Tono on the shrine on New Year's Day. There he was.
Oh yes, I remember.
Flawless back then too. What do you need, Mr. Lawyer? My quiet question evoked a polite smile from this Fujita.
Fujita.
Fujita-kun. Fujita now.
Wait, why do I recognize his voice?
I don't know.
He sounds familiar, like an anime person. I'd like to meet with Murase-san.
He's in the middle of an appointment.
I assure you, the conversation won't take long. If possible, I'd like a few minutes before the next patient is scheduled to go in.
We've got a lot of people waiting out here.
It won't even take 10 minutes.
Well, his manner of speech was nothing but polite. His tone was insistent. Apparently, he refused to take no for an answer.
Damn, bruv.
With an exaggerated sigh, I picked up the phone and dialed the extension for the exam room.
Hello?
I've got a lawyer here.
A lawyer?
His name is Fajita-san.
I'm in the middle of an appointment. Ask him to come back another day.
He says it won't take long and insists to see you after your current patient.
Fine, I'll call you back when I'm done.
Taki let out a sigh of resignation. He must have sensed that the lawyer had no intention of backing down. I took the phone back in its cradle, then looked at Fajita, smiling faintly.
So, what is that you need? I'd appreciate it if you could make it quick because I've got a lot of folks waiting out there.
For the next appointment, Taki brought Fajita into the exam room. He asked me to tag along, so I stood next to Ray, who was already present at the room. Everyone's here. Yay.
We had a gang.
Neither Fajita nor Taki bothered to sit. They stood face to face in the current room.
They're gonna ask each other, so who gets to take for Kim first?
Oh wait, they're alphas. They're sort of dominant.
Oh my god.
Had to take their omega.
I want to impregnate him.
Well, I imagine you understand the circumstances far better than I do. In short, I've been sent here as a warning. To pressure me, I take it. You're free to interpret it that way if you wish. For the time being, provided you can fully complete your assigned task, Tonoshi has promised to reduce your debt.
Reduce debt?
Oh.
Reduce his debt? Oh my god.
Okay, plot twist!
Uh-oh.
Dead.
OMG.
Right, I exchanged a dubious look. Evidently, he didn't know what was going on either.
Not only did the Takasato Gumi lose their leader, but now they've been attacked as well. That said, it isn't strictly related to the matter at hand.
Fajita paused and there, used his middle finger to slide his glasses back to the bridge of his nose.
Lucky for you, Tonoshi was completely unharmed.
His lips twisted in a cruel smirk as he spoke suggestively.
Well then, we look forward to a favorable response from you. I would truly hate to impose on your work, so I'll be going.
He's just a bum, dude. He's not on purpose. He wanted to say that in front of Ray and Toa.
Guess he was dead.
Your doctor does.
Surprise!
Then he leaves.
He pulled a white A4-sized envelope from his leather briefcase and set it on Taku's desk. With a smile that didn't reach his eyes, he inclined his head. Then he turned on his heel and gallantly strode out of the room. Struggling to process what just happened, Ray and I stared at Taku, who gazed at the floor with his jaw clenched.
So, this guy was a lawyer, right? Then what was that about? What debt?
Ray spluttered in confusion, but Taku remained silent. Do you owe money to the Takasato Gumi? At this, Taku closed his eyes, which was more than enough affirmation for me. Fajita made it sound like Tono would lower the amount Taku owed in exchange for something else. If Tono was in charge of his debt, then Takasato Gumi had to be involved.
Yes.
Quietly, Taku forced the word out from the back of his throat.
Wait, so does that mean you have a web tag implanted in your body?
Yeah, I can't leave Shinkomi until it's paid.
Oh my god.
Shocked, Ray covered his mouth with both hands.
His mouth's already covered with a mask.
Do you have a way to get the money? For a moment, Taku's gaze faltered in hesitation, but then he nodded slightly. Oh wait, he has been doing like organs.
Oh my god.
I'll be okay.
So Tono gave you some kind of assigned task.
I can't really talk about it.
It's not something dangerous, is it?
Don't worry about it.
No comment. He smiled stiffly.
I want to flick the clinic, and of course, I won't let it cause any problems for either of you. I'll figure something out. I promise.
He spoke gently as if to reassure us. But to me, that only made it more obvious that he was trying to gloss over something. I looked over at the white envelope Fajita had left on Taku's desk. It was stamped with Fajita Law Office on the front. Taku noticed my gaze and snatched the envelope like he was trying to hide it.
Anyway, let's continue the appointments, guys.
Anyways.
Guys, it's fine.
Guys, it's like no big deal. I only owe like $1 million.
It's like, don't worry about it.
With a heavy sigh, he changed the subject. Ray clearly had more he wanted to say, but since Taku was having none of it, he reluctantly left. Now, I was confident beyond a doubt that Taku was at max capacity. He said he'd figure something out. Bullshit. After Fajita left, smoke was swaying all over the place. But if he still had no intention of coming clean, then all we could do was watch and wait. I snuck a glance at his face and profile as he headed to his desk. Then I left the exam and returned to the reception center. Counter. Oh no!
Words.
After work, I was sitting on the sofa having a stiff drink when my phone started buzzing on the coffee table. It was a call from an unknown number. Hi, are you interested in solar panels?
Oh boy, am I.
Hello?
Oh, what's John? This is AG. Sorry, I'm calling out of the blue.
His voice was unusually panicked.
Could I ask you to come down to Takasato HQ? Kaki-san asked me to join you. I mean, ask you.
To try you.
Huh?
A free commission? Sakaki?
Hi. He's kind of pinned down at the moment. Anyways, thanks in advance. Oh, pinned down?
Then he hung up on me.
Getting freaky.
It sounded like Sakaki was stuck dealing with some kind of crisis. Normally, I wouldn't go out of my way to stick my nose in it, but if he was asking for me, I didn't really have a choice.
I'm glad
I
you
pulled
know.
on my coat and headed out. At the Takasato office, one of the goons escorted me to Sakaki's study at the far end of the hall. Sakaki was sitting at his desk with a conflicted look on his face. Aiji sat on the couch nearby, playing with his cell phone. I'm sorry to call you over on such short notice. Sakaki's usual warmth is gone, replaced with stern eyes beneath a furrowed brow.
Sorry, Toa-san. We really appreciate it.
Contrary to when he spoke over the phone, Aiji was back to his usual and wonderful self. Lately, Tono has been aggressive action. It seems he's no longer interested in playing nice. I can't risk letting my guard down for even a single moment, which is why I summoned you here. Did something happen?
Oh, oopsie, no person.
Sakaki gave a weak shake of his head. No, not yet, but I imagine it's only a matter of time. He leaned forward, his eyes glinting intently. You see, it appears that Tono is blackmailing Dr. Murase. Blackmail. Yes.
They've totally known each other for a long time, but lately they've been talking a lot. Seems like he's forcing him into helping with something.
Isn't this about his debt? You know about that. Yeah. Did Taku borrow from the Takasada Gumi, or Tono specifically? Takasada Gumi? I have records of it. So that much is fact, but if Tono thinks his actions are sanctioned by the organization, he's got another thing coming. Word has it, Tono has Dr. Murase at his beck and call. I tried to speak to Dr. Murase about it myself, but he feigned innocence. Apparently, he doesn't want to talk about it. Perhaps some part of that mystery is fueling the blackmail. Naturally, Tono's got surveillance on you too. Did you know that? No. Depending on how it plays out, he may come after you.
Oh no.
I love talking to myself. Frankly, I'd like to go ahead and take you into protective custody with me. But you'd hate that, wouldn't you? Brownie, he shot me a probing look. I nodded. He sighed like he'd seen it coming. Yeah, I figured you'd say as much. So instead of trying to take you in, I'd like to assign my men to watch you too. We won't interfere with your life in any way, but I'd like to have some insurance on the off chance things go south. And by the way... He paused, staring his eyes sharply. Sorry, but you have to say in this particular matter. I don't expect you to like it, but I have no intention of changing my mind. Got it? In other words, he was gonna spy me no matter what. As much as I wanted to avoid it, I could feel Sakaki's stubborn insistence. I sighed quietly. Fine. Oh, and if at all possible, could you keep an eye on the good doctor for the time being? Taku. What for? Well, his behavior may indicate what Tono's next move will be. If Dr. Murase has been dragged into Tono's schemes, then we'll need to factor him in. Believe me when I say I don't want to have to do this, so if you notice something you can help him with, lend a hand, would you? Unless you have no vested interest in him, in which case, don't. But I can't guarantee you'll make it out of this unscathed. On the surface, he phrased everything like a request, but not the option of saying no. The throw is implied. Fine. Scowling, I nodded. Then Ichi sprang to his feet like he was on... That was his cue.
Take this, Toa-san.
He walked over and handed me something. 2 battery-shaped devices, plus 2 earpieces.
Ooh, this is a listening device, complete with GPS tracking and recording function. It triggers when it detects human speech. Replace his cell phone battery with this. As you can guess, these are earpieces.
We're spying.
Ooh, we're playing spy.
Ichi explained each item as he pressed them into my hand. Now I understood. They wanted me to spy on Taku's phone calls.
I'll send you the URL later. Open it with your phone and it'll prompt you to download an app. It's a tracker that can trace the locations of people with web tags.
Wait, web tags?
Dr. Murase is in debt to us, and as such, he's been web tagged. That said, not just anyone can track them. It's an in-house app for use by our organization only. Oh, and when the mic starts picking up voices, it'll send you a notif to your phone.
He was so gleeful, he sounded like a kid in a toy store.
Dr. Mur, if you figure out what Tono-san has asked Dr. Murase to do, get in touch with Sasaki-san or me, whatever works.
Sure. The nod, I stuffed the gear into my coat pocket. Right as I left the office, I got an email from AG with a URL attached. As I stared at the download, I thought about Taku. As far as I know, Taku and Tono had no established friendly relationship. They were enemies to lovers. In which case, chances were high that Tono was using the threat of something other than money, some kind of dirt, to make Taku do his bidding. I think Tono really was blackmailing him. Maybe he was connected to all the phone calls and the studying he was concerned about. Either way, Taku's connection to Tono had gotten him dragged into something. I would have to solve Taku's issue to Sakaki, and Tono could duke it out by themselves. But I wasn't really looking forward to dealing with this, especially bugging his phone. Whatever. All I have to do is get Sakaki the info he's looking for, and then it's over. I looked down at the new icon on my phone screen. Then, with a frustrated sigh, I walked off into the night. Never to be seen again. The end. Oh, okay. Back at the clinic, I was walked into the waiting room. The sounds of an argument echoed out from the other end of the hall.
Oh my god.
I walked past the waiting room and down the hallway. The voices were coming from the exam room. Specifically, it was Ray and Taku. I couldn't tell what they were fighting over, but they both had sounded hostile. When I opened the door, they both went quiet. Then they rounded on me in perfect unison.
Oh, it's Toa. Welcome home.
Welcome home.
You guys fighting?
When mommy and daddy fight. No, we're not fighting. I just lost my temper and flipped out on him, that's all.
That sounds like fighting to me. Did he piss you off? He shot a sidewalk there at Taku.
Today, Taku was so completely distracted he barely seemed to listen to any of his patients, almost like he was zoning out on his job. I tried to mind my own business and let him do his thing, but he was a total jerkwad to one of them. So yeah, I got super steamed.
Look, I was tired. I'm sorry for what I said.
At this, Ray's expression twisted into fury.
Don't apologize to me. Apologize to every single patient who came in to see you today.
Really human, you know.
And maybe you should act like one and get some rest. God, I get that you don't want to slack off, but if you push yourself to the point where you screw up, you're only going to cause more problems. You know what? Since we're already having this conversation, I'm just going to ask, are you hiding something? You're hiding something, aren't you? Where are you going every day at lunch? Does it have to do with repaying your debt?
Does what?
Taku's expression hardened.
Please, Taku, is there anything we can do to help you?
Sorry, but I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, Taku!
Oh my god, they're getting a divorce.
I go home to mommy and daddy fighting every day. I go to my room and make fan art.
That's why you Toa. Divorce. Child of divorce.
Toa uploads on Tumblr. Tumblr user Euphoria.
Oh god, it's so hard having 2 Christmases.
When I get 2 gifts, oh,
fuck my life. Pleading tone shifted into a defeated sigh as he closed his eyes.
Sorry for all this fuss.
It's fine.
I'll handle the rest, so you both head on home.
He lives here. Where is he gonna go?
Yeah.
Oh.
goes to the attic?
Yeah, he's like, okay.
Okay, goes upstairs.
With that, he left the exam room. Ray stared at the door, expressing one of mingled rage and sadness.
Go punch something.
He'll punch a mirror and cry. If Sakaki and Eiji were right, and Taki was involved with Tono, then no amount of needling would... Oh my god, needling him would get him to spill the beans! Ray had no way of learning the truth other than asking Taki directly. And it didn't help that Taki was so god-awful at hiding things. No wonder Ray was furious. Just then a thought occurred to me. What if I told Ray what I knew?
Oh my god, no! What a snitch! What a snitch!
He's a rat!
Oh, I guess you can always trust mommy.
Sakaki never said I had to keep my mouth shut. Besides, If we pulled our resources, the two of us could get this problem solved a lot faster.
Toa's thinking.
Using his brain. With that thought, I looked over at him. I need to talk to you about Taku.
What about him?
He looked up and over at me, puzzled. So I gave him a brief rundown of what I'd heard from Sakaki. The blood drained from Ray's face and his lips trembled.
Oh. So it's true.
We don't know for sure yet. It's just a possibility.
But if it's true, hey. If it's true, then we need to help him. Tona's gonna be blackmailing him. I just know it. That's why he's cooperating. Oh god. What if he disappeared patients were Tono's doing?
Very possible. Yeah.
God, Toa. You sound like you don't even care. Aren't you worried about Taku?
What does it matter? I thought you were mad at him.
Yes, I'm mad at him because I care about him. If he's in trouble, then I'd do anything to help him. Because I love him.
Yeah, dude, they're married. Only if he's in trouble, huh?
Oh, don't get all pedantic with me, Toa. She's been taking care of you since you were little. Don't you think you're being kind of heartless?
That has nothing to do with this. We don't know anything for sure, so our only option is to start digging.
Well, you have a point there.
I pulled out ID's listening device and held them out for him to see.
What's all this?
Bugs.
What?
It's a cockroach.
They start flying out of his hand.
Ew! He's just like a little child that pulls out bugs in his pocket. He's like, Mommy, look what I found in the playground today.
When fucking Taku said it was laundry and just only bugs.
I know. He pulls out like Toa's pants and there's like cockroach juice all over.
A cockroach egg.
A guy, he passes out. The cockroach flies into his mouth.
Ew. I don't like this anymore. My trauma.
Pulls out the cockroach. Yeah, I got secondhand trauma.
I don't say my bugs anymore.
Bug.
Your expression shifted a little lower.
You're going to spy on Taku?
Trust me, I take no pleasure in this, but you can't deny it's the fastest way.
I mean, yeah, maybe, but it's spying and it's like immoral and like...
He kills people for hobby! Would you rather go as Tono?
No way, that wouldn't work.
The more time we spend debating it, the more time we waste.
So what do you plan to do with these things?
One of them, I'm going to switch with Taku's cell phone battery. The other one will probably go on the exam room phone.
Makes sense.
He nodded, still frowning.
It wouldn't be hard to bug this one since we're already in here, but it'll be tricky to get his cell phone, don't you think?
He doesn't always carry it on him. A lot of the time he just sets it down and walks off.
Fair point. Yeah, he's always like, I only use it for phone calls. So I keep finding it just laying around. Wait, what if he literally did the same thing today?
He looked over at Taku's desk. His jaw dropped!
Oh, jaw drop. Oh
Boing.
my god. He did. How convenient.
Sure enough, Taku's cell phone was sitting atop a stack of documents.
It's like old people. They never carry their phone everywhere.
Like my mom. They fucking lose it. They're like, oh my god!
It's like my dad. He just like leaves his phone in the car and then like wakes up, takes me to work, and he's like, oh my phone's in here. Oh.
My dad charges his phone in the kitchen, man.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, my family does that too! He was so tired. He must have forgotten to take it with him when he left the room.
Because like
Silly
dementia.
Oh no.
He's fucking, yeah, he's too old.
He's 40.
46. He's almost 50.
Oh.
Be like,
How old is Ray?
I don't know. They never said.
Oh no.
Probably
I want
younger
to say
than
like
him.
I want to say younger. I thought he'd be like 28.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I feel
no,
like he's
younger
closer to Toa than.
Yeah, he looks like he's closer to Toa's age.
I want to say like 28,
There ain't
29.
no way. He's actually 19, guys.
It's just like
he better not
noise.
be. No, he's like his mother.
Oh no!
I grabbed it and popped the cover off. Then I switched on the listening device, swapped it into the battery slot, and replaced the cover. Meanwhile, Ray did the same thing with the landline phone on the corner of the desk.
They're all done. Now let's get out of here before Taco comes back. Taco comes back.
Aw.
Hey guys, what's going on? Together we left the exam room.
I feel like such a little brat.
The heavy sigh, you rubbed his arm with both hands.
So, how do you listen in? Does it make recordings?
There's a custom app for it that sends a notif to your phone when it picks up speech. And I listen to it with these.
Is new beats.
I pulled the earpiece out of my pocket and gave him a little shake.
Let me try.
He took one and held it up to his ear.
Oh my god, we're sharing AirPods. Nope. But I can kinda tell the mic's working since it's like dead air.
He pulled the earpiece out and handed it back. Apparently, it has a recording function too.
I feel like I should be afraid of the Takasato Gumi. Or maybe just Eiji. He has tons of info on everything, and if you asked him to, I bet he could get his hands on a bunch of illegal stuff.
Just then his eyes widened and he looked at me.
Say, can I hang out at your place until Taku comes back? Are you scared? Can I sleep on the same bed as you?
I'm having a nightmare.
Oh, please my pants. I bet he'll be more likely to expose himself if he thinks he's alone. Obviously, I hope I'm wrong, but...
It was actually a pretty decent suggestion. Instead of hovering over him, it made more sense to give him a false sense of security. We exchanged a firm nod.
Hi.
I'll sleep over.
Right, let's go upstairs. Sleep over.
Yay!
It's a girls' night.
And so Ray and I waited in my room for Taka to return. I checked the earpiece several times but couldn't hear anything of note. Then, after about 10 minutes, I finally heard the sound of the clinic doors opening. Ray faced me with a tense look as he sat on the chair opposite the sofa.
He's back.
I'm like Golden Freddy.
Oh boy, even better.
Yeah.
We created the
with the
bite of
hat.
87.
I try a kid in the mouth.
Yeah, a clay child.
That's kind of hard. I'll try.
He hissed under his breath, his brow furrowed.
God, I really hate doing this. But if Taku wouldn't tell us himself, then I guess it leaves us no choice.
It sounded like he was struggling to talk himself into it. He bit his lip. He doesn't have to do this. Like, he doesn't have to be here.
No, but he cares about Taku, okay?
Whatever.
His lover.
Not for long.
No!
Before I could respond, however, there was another noise downstairs. We were being robbed, but I didn't know what it was. Dot. I pressed a finger to the earpiece, trying to focus my attention on the faintest of sounds. It was coming from the bug in Taki's cell phone. Clack, clack, clack. I realized he was probably switching the lights off and on the first floor. Then I heard slow footsteps traveling down the hall. Was he headed home for the night?
He's gonna jump scare them, dude.
He's like, hey guys, what's going on up here?
Can I join?
Guys, I really looked out.
With your FOMO.
I'm getting major FOMO right now, guys.
I heard a truly inexplicable noise.
Door opens.
The footsteps stopped, replaced by the sound of a door opening.
Oh my god, literally.
Foreshadowing.
Oh my god. You called it. Next, I heard what sounded like metal clacking together, followed by another door opening. Did he leave the building? I didn't recognize the sound at all.
Toa.
Ray noticed my silence and shot me a funny look. I took out my phone and opened the tracker app. Taku's signal still coming from the clinic. He hadn't left.
OMG.
Let's go see where he is at.
What? Now? Why?
I didn't have time to explain. I rose to my feet. Ray hastily followed after me.
Oh.
We walked.
Okay. We walked to the clinic.
Alright. Wow, why'd you say, ooh, not scaring me, guys. This is like Freddy Fazbear, dude.
These gonna be purple guys. You know,
I'm gonna get jump scared.
What, their fucking non-animated sprite is gonna scare you.
Now they like start zooming in.
The really was silent, dark, and devoid of human life. With the emergency lights as our only guide, we walked to the exam room. I peeked inside, but couldn't hear anything.
Did he go home?
Yowie.
Hey!
I'll look at it later.
No. I spoke in a hushed tone as I showed Ray the map on my phone. Alright, he hasn't left. I think so.
Well, I don't see him anywhere. Maybe it's glitched. Are you sure it's working right?
If so, it's all a huge waste of time.
What's very? That was very rude.
Okay, well, I'm not waiting for you.
No, I was reading it.
No, you weren't.
In your head?
Yeah.
I was reading it.
You literally weren't. It's silent.
Really?
It's literally silent.
No, I was reading it, dude. I was reading it.
I got the recording. I got the recording.
But that's I exhaled. I'll get in touch with AG.
Good idea. Ha. Kind of anticlimactic, but whatever.
Is that your smoke alarm?
No.
I mean, no.
Yes, it is.
It definitely is.
Wait, what?
The squeak noise.
The beeping. You got like constant beeping in the background.
Yeah, change the freaking smoke alarm battery.
Dude, no, I don't have a smoke alarm.
Are you like
just
so used to it? You're just zooming it out.
Are you okay?
There's something wrong with my mic. There's something wrong with my mic then.
It's not your mic. It's totally
That's
that's literally the smoke alarm.
Smoke alarm.
It periodically beeps, like a little squeak noise, like eek.
It's my air conditioner or something, dude.
That's not air conditioned. That's a smoke alarm.
Your house is gonna burn down.
Well,
you have to change the battery because it's not working anymore.
Oh, I see.
Well, you have to tell your parents that.
Oh, fine, I'll go.
Ray shrugged, smiling wryly.
This is gonna sound dumb, but I'm kind of glad. Feels like there's been a stay of execution.
A slay.
A slay.
Execution. I just hope it turns out we were wrong.
After that quiet addition, he looked at me.
I'm gonna head home for the night. You get some rest, Toa. You hear me?
What? He's bailing?
Yeah, he's
What?
like, whew,
Ray!
I'm
Asshole.
spooked. It leaves.
Gets killed by purple guy.
No!
Seriously. Things are getting pretty crazy around here. Anyway, have a good night. No more sleepover?
With a weary smile, he headed for the front entrance. Left behind in the silence. I started feeling
Scared.
I couldn't stand the quiet. But right as I was about to go back to my apartment,
Uh-oh.
Turns around.
it's purple guy! I heard a faint sound, and it wasn't coming from the earpiece. It sounded like something was being moved, and it was still going. Slowly, I started walking, focusing my attention in the direction of the sound. At the very end of the hall was a narrow door unlike all the others. I had never set foot inside, but I was told it was a storage room for important documents. The sound seemed to be coming from inside. I stood in front of the storage room door and listened.
Ooh.
Sure enough, the sound was coming from inside. Holding my breath, I reached out and slowly twisted the knob. It opened. I peeked in through the tiny gap. It was dark inside, but I could see the silhouette of the tall shelves all lined up. I opened the door wider and walked in, leaving it open behind me so the emergency lights could help illuminate my path.
Why is he doing that?
As I passed between the shelves, I saw another door on the opposite side of the room. It had been left ajar, and light streamed out from the other side. I could hear more muffled sounds, too. But right as I started to approach the far door, my phone buzzed in my hand. Ah!
Oh, God.
I looked at the screen. Apparently, Taku just started a phone call. I pulled out the earpieces and put them in my ears.
Oh. I forgot my voice at a game. What is it?
Yeah, I was like that.
Did you send one of your guys today? What's that supposed to mean?
like fucking Harry Potter from the
The basement door was unlocked. So someone got in. Yeah. I didn't send anyone, and my men have been told to stay away unless we have business. Are you sure you didn't simply forget to unlock it? Pretty sure. There's nothing missing, is there? No. Then there's no problem. Relax. Right.
Oh.
I could hear Taki's voice in stereo, both through the earpieces and from the other side of the door.
Towa.
The bugs weren't glitched. Taki was right here at the clinic.
So all freaked up, dude.
Uh-oh. I don't like the CG scaring me.
Beyond the door, see the stairs leading down. This is probably what he referred to as the basement.
No.
Do the other employees know that the storage room had a basement? Because I was fairly sure Ray did, at the very least. Ray's the only other employee. Furthermore, I recognized Tono's voice at the other end of the line. Was Sakaki right about that?
Working together? Oh. By the way, Toro went to see Sakaki today. And?
Fucking right.
He's Sakaki's little pet. I was thinking there might be a way to use him somehow. I have eyes on him at all times, keeping me informed of his movements. Depending on how things go, I might play that card. But of course, there won't be any trouble as long as you do everything you need to do. Consider insurance for the worst case scenario. You know when it's coming up soon. Make it happen by the deadline.
The call ended and the phone line began to beep.
Fuck!
Taki cursed and flanked on the
Gamer
floor.
rage!
He lost his victory royale. Then the earpiece went quiet, so I pulled it out.
Screws
Careful
off.
to make any sound. Like a little rat. Quietly closed the door behind me, then headed for the stairs.
Oh my god.
As I walked, my mind replayed the conversation between Taku and Tono. Sakaki was right about all of it. Taku and Tono were connected, and Tono had his goons watching me. But from the way Taku spoke, it didn't sound like he and Tono were very buddy-buddy. Clearly, Tono was forcing him into it somehow. Was it the debt? What did Tono mean by you-know-what is coming up soon?
Doomsday.
Whatever it was, he was using to pressure Taku. Why did Taku feel the need to keep the basement a secret? What was he doing down there? Arriving back in my apartment on the third floor, I flopped down on the back of my sofa. My name had come up in the conversation. Tono said he might have a use for me. I was already more involved than I wanted to be, thanks to Sakaki's perfect foresight. Man, fuck Sakaki, and Tono, and Taku. Fuck them all. As I looked up at the ceiling, I mulled it over.
Great dialogue.
Fuck them all. Killed 99 dead cops.
He'll take it quite literally.
We got Sakaki route, Tono route. Willing to take more sleeping pillows, I spent the night lying awake instead. I could tell morning arrived from the way it lit up the closed blinds in the window. Slowly I sat up. I didn't have a headache this time, but my body felt like lead. Oh, I'm helping to clear the fog from my mind. I lit a cigarette. After a long drag and exhale, there came a knock at the door.
Toa, 起きてる?
Toa, are you waking
Why
there?
are you awake?
It was Ray! I grabbed my phone off the coffee table and checked the time.
Maybe this is Ray Route, guys.
Oh boy, 9 a.m. Still plenty of time before my shift.
Yeah. Oh, we're sorry.
Hey!
Yeah, they both said.
They make out.
His Toa and Sly Toa.
My response.
Sly Red.
He timidly into the room. Ew. Last night, where I was utterly unable to sleep, I had called Ray and told him everything.
Oh my god, they're like gossip buddies.
Dude, it is Ray Route.
What happened?
Between Taco and Tono. When I told him Taco didn't sound like an enthusiastic participant, I started raging, and I was proved that I was blackmailing him.
Oh god, more raging.
At that point, I found myself hesitant to tell him about the secret basement, or that my name had come up. He was already struggling to process all this new, less than fun information about Taku. If I kept piling more and more onto him, he might blow a gasket and go storming off to confront Taku directly.
God.
Today, he seemed a lot calmer. The look on his face suggested that there was a lot on his mind.
After we talked on the phone last night, I calmed down and gave it more thought. I admit, I really want to give Taku a piece of my mind about this, but if Tono really is blackmailing him, then we really need to act carefully. I mean, this is the Takasato Gumi we're dealing with. If we get on their bad side, we could be in deep. This word. I may not know what to do about this, but we need to think it through.
He paused, taking a deep breath.
For today, I'm just going to do my work like nothing's wrong. But if anything else happens, I want you to tell me.
Sure. I nodded. A small, relieved smile kept on his face, and he left the room. After he was gone, I switched to the TV and let the static fill the void. Then I sat on the sofa and had a smoke. What bugged me was the basement. I hadn't exploded yet, but the memory of the light seeping in through the cracks was burned into my eyelids. What exactly was down there? At the very least, it was one of those secret tying Taku and Tono together. I narrowed my eye and exhaled white cigarette smoke. While I was concerned about Taku, there was no point in staying in my apartment for hours on end. That's a first. I crushed my cigarette in the ashtray, rose to my feet, and pulled down my coat.
Oh god, explore time.
Guess I'll wander. While you guys wander,
god, there's so many.
I clean up my desk.
Okay.
Oh boy. I want to go to Seaside Park.
Let's go to the beach each.
Let's go
get away. They say what they're gonna say. Have a drink. Clink.
Down the Bud Light. Bitches like me
are hard to come by.
Patron on, let's go get it on. Shonkopi Park, District B.
Okay.
And it's big and famous. Okay. Awesome. I don't give a shit.
They're very pretty. Casino.
Oh. Yeah! Oh, it's you.
Yeah.
Did you know? Oh, wait, that's
no.
me.
Did you know the Takasato HQ was attacked by unknown forces? Apparently, they dealt a lot of damage, though the executives are all unhurt. Who was behind it? Team Sakaki or Team Tono? Or could it be the mainland? A drug dealer told me lately unauthorized narcotics have been going around. Its side effects are notable. The user hallucinates that bugs are attacking, flips out, and claws at their body. Very abnormal. But everyone who's experienced it seems to disappear shortly afterward. Is something going on behind the scenes? District B, also known as Shinkomi's front entrance. Oh, I don't know. But there's men in suits standing all over town. I hear spy cameras are set up everywhere too. Less crime, but still just as unsettling as the other districts. On the 19th, a group of mainland politicians are supposedly coming to Shinkomi. Surely they wouldn't set foot in this nightmare without good reason. Hopefully it doesn't cause any trouble, but our relationship with the mainland is liable to get worse. There are a lot of horror stories about Shinkomi hospitals. My friend's a nurse and they told me every now and then the hospitalized patients just vanish into thin air. This make headlines back in the mainland, but here in Shinkomi, the cops refuse to investigate. So bizarre. Monster Hills is a District D back alley nightclub at the harbor of the coast. Have you heard of it? Lately, everyone's talking about their blowout prices. Very affordable.
Oh my god.
Oh, but people say the girls have been acting weird. So if you want to go at your own risk. I want to go visit Grandma again.
Mima.
Oh.
Oh, I thought I felt someone watching me from somewhere. Maybe it was all in my head.
Come in. Oh, it's you.
Yeah.
What's the matter? You seem a little different.
How so?
Something bad happened to you.
I wouldn't say bad per se. But as with a lot of things, there's no point crying about it. ...
Don't you have anybody you care about? Oh, make a joke, speak my mind.
Not right now, at least.
Oh, I see. Maybe you haven't found that special someone yet, but when you do, don't you dare run away from how you feel.
Cool. Thank you.
Thanks, Grandma. Don't hide behind that excuse that crying won't change anything. It means you need to take action, but you don't want to.
You're totally right. I should have known you would understand.
Would look at you and it's obvious to anyone. Now then, if you're gonna buy something, make it quick.
Alright then, I'll take this.
That'll be 300 yen.
Keep the change.
Come again sometime.
Grandma.
Gma.
Let's go
Oh
for
my god,
day.
let's see Ikuina.
Yeah!
Oops. Well, actually, didn't he... Oh, never mind. That was the other one.
No, he went back. He's getting better.
Junko. Oh.
Joko and Oshima.
Oh, Toa. Oh my god. You know, you hardly ever talk to me. I'm so flattered.
Well, I saw you squatting out in front of the flower shop, so...
Wait, so you don't just ignore me whenever you see me? Aw, that's so sweet.
Dr. Dot.
What's up? This is a flower shop, so I take it you're here to buy flowers too?
Yeah.
Nah, I'm just passing by.
So we bumped into each other purely by chance. I'm here to buy flowers for someone I really care about. Say, Toa, what flowers do you think would be good?
Uh-oh.
Play it safe, choose flowers.
I want to choose some flowers. I want to see what his favorite is. How about these blue ones?
These are cute, you know? I was actually looking at those. Great minds think alike. To tell the truth, I kind of had a fight with this person, so we haven't spoken in a while. If I had to guess, neither of us probably care about the fight anymore, but I just don't know how to talk to them again. That's why I thought I'd send these flowers as a token of my feelings. Deep down, I know I should go see them in person and smell my guts, but...
What's with those, like, confessions?
I sure hope I can repair our friendship. Pray for me, Toa. Anyway, gotta go buy these flowers later.
Later. Do.
Hey, Park. Which one?
The Emoto Central Park. Yay, park. What a dog. I felt a gaze again and came to a stop. Maybe Sakaki was monitoring me just out of sight.
Oh. Is that a voice I recognize? Toa, here you are. Glad I found you. I was kidding.
Oh. Ray.
Oh
Ray.
boy.
And our Ray's missing.
I went to your place and you weren't there, so I figured you were out and about. Then when I went out for lunch, I figured I'd check the park. And sure enough, can I talk to you?
Sure.
Listen, I'm sorry, I just can't stop thinking about it, you know?
About Taku?
Yeah, I'm trying to act normal and all, but... Hey, Toa, is there any way to cut ties with the Takasato Gumi? Answer gently, answer curtly.
Oh, fuck it. So fuck you, curtly.
Oh.
No one's found a way so far.
Right.
Oh, he liked it anyway. So.
I know it's impossible to get away from them completely, but I keep asking myself, is there really no choice but to give up?
I see. Dot.
Sorry for getting a little too real there. I'm gonna go buy lunch. What about you?
I'll pass.
Ugh, not again. I'm gonna buy you something and put it in the staff room fridge for you so you better eat it. See you later.
The cafe?
Get some honey toast.
Yum yum. I want honey toast so bad.
They make it look so scrumptious in the CG.
My two favorite things, bread and honey. ... Oh. Hey, Arimura.
Why are you sitting next to me?
This is my usual seat. You just happen to be sitting next to it.
Come to think of it, you do sit here a lot. Very well. Next time, I'll have to remember to sit somewhere else.
Yes, please do.
Hey, Toa-san.
What?
Lately, Dr. Murase been acting strangely in your... Oh, has Dr. Murase been acting strangely in your opinion?
Strange? In what way?
Well, let's see. He seems prickly at all hours of the day. I thought maybe you might know what's going on, so I forced myself to ask you. Answer plainly, answer vaguely.
Vaguely. He doesn't get to know.
Okay.
Fuck this guy.
None of your beeswax.
Taku tends to bottle up his stress for sure.
Yes, that's just the sort of man he is. Lately, he appears to be deeply exhausted. Makes me think maybe something's going on with him. Soka.
Makes me think.
But if you haven't heard anything, then I guess I'll never know. I apologize for the sudden question. Well then, now that I finished my meal, I'll be going back to the clinic. Feel free to take your time.
Cool.
Leaves.
I'm still walking around?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
We got a lot of places to look.
Okay, we'll go shopping.
Shopping street.
Woohoo!
Oh, Toa.
Oh, God's sake!
Oh.
Hello, Say. You're outside of your Halloween suit.
Where's your hat? Where's your hat back on?
His fedora and his
Yeah.
skeleton leggings.
His baby shorts. Hey,
He's normal
Arata.
now.
No, I don't like it.
What's up? Running your errands?
No, errands in particular. Just walking.
Gotcha.
British.
I tend to... Huh?
I think he looks British.
You have a British accent.
I tend to think of you as not Arrow, so it's kind of weird seeing you out and about during the day. I can't do a British accent.
I'm hardly a vampire.
Yes, you can.
You're part British. Come on, man.
No,
Yeah.
I can't.
Embrace your inner Brit.
These days, the city feels so intense. It's uncomfortable.
For sure.
Toa, have you ever felt the urge to leave Shinkomi? Speak my mind and joke around.
Do we want to joke? Do we try another joke?
Yeah, we're gonna joke again.
Okay, well, let's have another joke.
You really think a guy like me could hack it on the mail? These aren't jokes, Toa!
Hee hee. With your lifestyle, yeah, you're probably better off staying here. Every now and then, I find myself wondering if I should move away. But when I'm with Rei and Junko and Honame, I have so much fun. I don't think I could bear to leave. So I guess that's the answer.
Probably so. If you honestly don't like it here, you're free to leave.
Yeah, Shinkomi's dangerous in a lot of ways, but I guess I hate it that much, not enough to leave. Sorry to hold you up. I'm gonna go now.
Cool.
I don't know like Eiichi from Ensemble Stars.
Does. Ecchi-kun. Emo Ecchi. Goth Ecchi. Or Eiichi.
Watu dumped him.
Not emo.
I think there's everything. No.
Well, I mean, this is the district ones, but I'll just go speed through them. Casino. Starts gambling.
Woo!
Yeah, District B, casino, amusement park, casino industry, casino.
It's a casino.
Sheep, casino, gambling, debt, gamble, more money, loans. Okay.
Awesome.
District C. Tip tap. Tip tap.
Ooh, fancy. It's like we're in LA.
Oh boy. We're going to AX.
Oh boy.
California palm trees.
It
is at the airport.
Rows of high-rise buildings on a clean, polished street. Welcome to Hagoita Street in
Back on
District C.
narrator duty?
Move on.
Yeah, I'll go back on narrator duty. Let's speed it up. Let's speed it up. Located at the center of the city, District C is home to a lot of Shinkomi's government buildings. This is where office workers and rich people live. Upper class, family. Okay.
Blah, blah, blah,
That's
blah,
also the base of local Yakuza.
I don't care about exposition. Give me the yaoi.
Okay.
Oh.
Time to get to the HQ. Hey, father.
People.
You wouldn't believe what I just heard over the phone.
Oh boy, tell me more.
Here in the sleepy residential area, you can see a large prominent office building. It's the Yakuza.
Okay, yeah, he's not gonna go inside of it.
Okay.
I think you were narrating what it looks like.
Okay, we've already been. Okay, time to head home. Exploration Owari.
Yahoo!
Finally.
He's like snuggling in something.
Back in my apartment, I pulled my coat off and sank into the sofa. And I grabbed the floor bottle at my feet. But when I remembered I had to work later, I put it back.
Wow, responsible.
What? He's never done that before. Instead, I lit a cigarette into a long drag. So low damage.
Oh, I didn't save for a while.
Is that at the end of the chapter?
Well, usually we have to have like the massive interrogation.
Oh.
Yeah, we failed multiple times.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Today I worked the night shift, so by the time I was done, the date had changed. I went back to my apartment and got dressed to go to Roost, but right as I walked out of the elevator, however, I saw Taku walking toward me.
Uh-oh.
Oh, you're in trouble.
Toa.
His expression was a bit more stern than usual.
Where are you going?
Roost.
Oh.
Stay home.
Like when the wait, never. That's a bad joke.
What? Go on.
You know, it's like when the school shooter says "stay home."
My personal is commanding tone of voice. What for?
I keep telling ya, Jacksato Gumi is out of control lately.
So?
She shouldn't go walking around in the dark.
My reaction was the same as the last time we had this conversation. Why worry about it at this stage? Now my hackles are up.
Oh, with the hackles.
You know, you've been acting really weird lately.
Yeah, well.
Is something going on?
Betsuni.
So it's something you can't talk about to anyone about. ... He closed his mouth and fell silent. Hey! Once again, this man was a terrible liar. If you don't want to talk about it, that's your choice. But I'm not gonna blindly take orders from you. He averted his gaze without responding. Clearly, his conversation was over. I turned on my heel and walked out of the building. Right now, he's struggling with a secret he couldn't reveal to a single soul. He was forbidden from confessing the truth, and it was tearing him apart. Perhaps it was the straightforward, sincere side of him that Tono preyed upon. But I thought about Taku. I walked down the street in the direction of Bruce until I heard the sound of an engine quietly approaching behind.
Runs him over. You can't leave if your legs are broken.
Oh no!
They're like saying woo.
Then with the bat, he goes hardcore. What a nice car. That looks totally not a real fly photo.
Oh my god, it is a BMW.
It's a BMW!
But the green version. It's a green and W.
I shot a quick glance over my shoulder. A car was slowly rolling along behind me. Oh no! Then suddenly shot forward and braked directly in front of me, blocking my path.
Get in the car.
Oh my god, lawyer!
And this respectable man stepped out. Fajita.
Oh my god.
Oh, just kidding.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Now I have to do the voice again. How are you, Toa?
With both hands in his pockets, he started over to me. That's a thought. I stared back at him silently, shook his head and
You're
mused.
diddled.
Oh no!
I wanted to have a little chat, so I came to pick you up. Hop on in.
You opened the near passenger door and gestured and wanted everyone to get in. Running away never crossed my mind. Quite the opposite. It was a perfect opportunity to ask him about the relationship with Tono, Taku.
Yeah, with himself.
Oh, maybe he has some self-hatred he gotta get off his chest. Wordlessly, I climbed into the back of the car. A man in a suit, probably one of Tono's goons, was seated beside me.
Goons.
Instead of closing the door, Tono put a hand on the roof and peered in. As he drew his face close to mine, he gives me a little kiss. Promising eyes there into a sneer.
Oh my god, I already forgot. Sorry to spring this on you.
Hold out a gun.
What do you want to talk about? He smirked.
Actually, I thought we could have a little fun.
He jerked his chin in the direction of his subordinate. Suddenly, the other man grabbed my arm.
That's drugs.
Huh?
Oh my god.
Oh my god, you're right!
Oh.
Heroin injection. Oh my wait, it's illegal drugs.
Oh, he's gonna have the narcotics and disappear.
Oh my god.
No. Oh.
Don't move.
I tried to yank my arm away, but the other man was stronger, and the car was too cramped for me to escape.
What impressive scars you have.
Motherfucker. A lot of playful whistles as the lackey pulled an injection needle out of his pocket. He uncapped with his teeth.
Oh, yeah.
Drugging me. I mutter under my breath and Tono pat the top of the car.
Precisely, I knew you were a smart kid. Excited?
Meh. Knock yourself out.
Oh my god.
That's what I like to hear.
And the sharp needle pierced through the thinnest skin on my arm.
Good.
A prick of pain shot through me as the man plunged the needle's contents on my body. I could feel a chill of the fluid under my skin.
Oh goodness.
Gradually, my pulse began to quicken and I started breathing more heavily. But no amount of deep breathing will calm my heart, and the back of my neck started to burn along with the tips of my fingers and toes.
Whoa, drugs are so cool.
I love drugs.
Whoa. I'm starting to trip out.
It felt like it was on fire! My heart was pounding out of control, my throat was dry, my ears were ringing. Then my vision started to blur like I was holding back tears. I could scarcely breathe. Before I knew it, the needle had left my arm. I gasped for breath.
Oh, sorry.
I tried to look at Tono, but I was too dizzy to focus.
Fetch Murase. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Tono's command. The underling opened the opposite passenger door and I got out. In his absence, I crumpled over into the empty space next to me, wheezing in agony. The overwhelming heartburn made me want to vomit. Unable to withstand it, I emptied the contents of my stomach in the direction of the floor.
Oh, come on. Do you have to do that?
An indeterminate amount of time passed. A few minutes, but to me, it felt like an eternity.
Chilla!
I heard talking calling my name, but I didn't have the strength to look up.
There, Murase. It seems your precious toe is having a hard time. Chilla, you bastard! What'd you do to him? It will happen, most likely, but you should know it's your fault this happened.
Taki didn't respond, but I could sense his fury.
Oh, I'd think carefully if I were you.
Tono walked back around the front passenger side.
Now the car is dirty. Make sure you clean it up later. Let's go.
Nearly reached back in the car, grabbed my shoulders and dragged me onto the pavement.
Chilla!
Tono's crony hopped into the car and they sped away in a cloud of exhaust fumes.
Chilla, are you okay? Answer me!
I hear Taki's voice in my ear, faintly over my eye. My vision was blurry, like I was underwater, but I could feel him trying to haul me up onto my feet. My fuzzy mind did its best to operate my feet.
We're gonna walk back to the clinic, alright?
Leaning against him, I slowly stumbled forward. Back at the clinic, Taki laid me down on an empty waiting room bench and then walked off down the hall. After a moment, he returned and I felt something warm and wet pressed against my mouth. A washcloth.
Can you sit up?
Hand shaking, I grabbed the back of the bench and slowly pulled myself into a sitting position. My body was so heavy, it felt like I'd been turned to stone. If I relaxed for even a second, I'd probably slump over again.
I brought you some water in a wash bowl. Your mouth probably feels pretty gross after that, yeah?
Oh, I took the mug of water, then I sipped, gargled, and spat it back into the wash bowl again and again.
Feeling okay?
Not really. My honest feelings left my lips in a low mumble, while the nausea I receded, the heavy lethargy was still weighing me down. But worst of all was the hair, or was the heat. It was like they'd inject me with magma.
This is why I told you not to get outside!
I looked at him. There's something going on with you and Tono. Taka heard his brow and fell silent. But before I could press him further, all of a sudden I felt something swelling in my loins.
Huh?
What? Good.
Come whip it out. He's gonna whip it out.
What's up?
I had to do the drugs. Every part of my body was naturally worked up. I clutched the collar of my shirt with one hand. The only way to describe it was forced arousal. My shoulders heaved.
What's wrong?
Taco appeared at me. The instant our eyes met, an electric current shot through me. Huh.
Tilla.
He frowned. Something amiss. Huh.
Dot.
I intentionally slumped to the side, and he reached out to catch me on pure impulse. That faintest touch made my skin tingle. The impact tied directly to pleasure. I ran a hand along the arms currently wrapped around my body. His brow furrowed even more deeply.
Tilla, snap out of it!
I'm so hot.
Do you have a fever?
No, baby fever.
No, it's the drugs.
Oh, well,
Awkward.
You seem to catch my drift. The expression grew hesitant.
For now, you should probably lie down and...
Before he could straighten up, I snaked an arm around his neck and pulled him to me. His perplexed face mere inches from mine, I looked up at him. Help me.
Wait, but, I mean...
I don't wanna.
Stop talking.
More doing.
Tilla, oof.
Oh my god.
Just shut up, I pressed my lips. You press more than your lips against him.
Forceful shove.
Glomps you.
Desperately. He tried to pull away, but I was about to let him. I wrapped my arms around his head and slid my tongue through his protesting lips.
Oh goodness.
I licked his tightly gritted teeth and nibbled on his lower lip, enticing him to open up.
Yeah, stop!
He whipped his head to the side.
He doesn't want it.
But while he seemed hesitant, I didn't sense any repulsion. He always claimed he wasn't interested in the same sex. Maybe he couldn't turn me down since we known each other for so long. In that case, I was prepared to take full advantage.
Oh my god.
He's a fucking rapist!
Oh my god.
I ran my tongue along his jaw to his neck and loudly sucked on his skin.
Oh yikes.
Tilla,
No.
I get it, alright? I get it, just give me a minute.
Hey, he's on fire.
He shoved me back, distancing himself. The orange smoke that was from his body spasmed and swayed restlessly.
So the joke's making you all pent up, is that it?
Yeah. I nodded, blinking in bewilderment. He let out a sigh.
I've never done it with a guy before, so I don't know how to do any of that, but I mean, I could work one out. Would that work?
Hey, yoink.
This was clearly the best compromise he was willing to offer. Personally, as long as it solved the problem, I wasn't picky. I nodded. His face lit up with relief. Then he pursed his lips.
Alright, lean back against me and I'll reach around.
He's gonna reach around.
Okay, he doesn't want to look at it. He's like, ugh.
He just closed his eyes. As requested, I sat up, turned around, and leaned back against him. I my knees and spread my legs. My cock was already pitching a tin in my pants.
TP.
And like Ray walks in, huh?
Oh.
Excuse me?
Oh. Joins them. Look how uncomfortable he looks. He's like, ugh.
He's like, ew, cock!
He's like, ugh.
I'm gonna touch it now.
As his hand slid around my waist. Fingers touched the exposed skin of my stomach, then hesitantly moved down.
Oh. It keeps going.
We're panning
Oh,
down.
just kidding, it's in his pants. He's keeping it
Oh
hiding.
god, I see it.
I thought he was teasing me on purpose. Squirming slightly, I stared at his hand. His thick fingers gingerly brushed the bulge in my underwear. His delicate, clinical motions only made me all the more frustrated. Quit playing around. Do it more like this. I reached in and put my dick out of my underwear. Then I brought his hand over to it, curled his fingers around it. I could hear him over behind me. He's like, ew. Just do it like normal. Do mine the way you do yours. My hand on his. I mean, he's even looking at himself when he's jerking off. He like to close his eyes. He looks like a god.
He uses his other hand to close to cover his eyes for maximum coverage.
He's not gay, guys.
I
I
gay
drag him
touch
up.
my own wee wee. I mean,
Yes.
it's like touching a dude.
It's like a guy. I'm a guy. I'm touching a guy.
No, I'm not
It's so
gay.
gross.
That's why I never jerked off.
Only women.
Yeah.
With my hand over his, I dragged him up and down along my shaft until it started to produce the pleasure I was seeking. I let out a small breath.
Oh my god, it's out there! It's out!
Oh my god.
Like
It
this?
was fucking for use outside Japan only. Yeah, just like that. He worked his hand up and down, mimicking my motions.
I'll definitely use this outside Japan.
No!
Yeah, put on Japanese Twitter.
No. Yeah,
It felt like I was teaching a young virgin. My breath quickened. Normally this wouldn't be enough to get me off, but right now in our car accident made me something of the slightest touch. Most of all, the fact that it was Taku, someone I otherwise never considered, added a strange thrill to it. You could do it harder.
Ugh.
His grip tightened as he stroked my length. His mimic both feverishly, his coarse fingers looked all the more sexy. The waves of pleasure began spread, forcing moans out of me from the back of my throat. Every now and then I could feel his breath tickling my neck. Slowly but surely, he seemed to be acclimated to the process. His hand motions developed a rhythm. As the pleasure built and built, it really started to feel like I was experiencing Taku's own masturbation session.
Oh wow.
Is this?
Oh god.
Is this how you do it normally? When you're alone. I whispered over my shoulder and heard him let an exasperated sigh.
Shush you!
Be quiet.
A powerful wave of pleasure shot through me. Pre-cum came floating out from my wetting his palm. Now it was really obvious how sensitive I had become. I didn't brace myself, I was gonna die into a climaxing instantly. Like a loser.
Is it good?
Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. I see it.
Ugh. The question struck me as belated. Regardless, I looked over my shoulder, licked my lips, and grinned. Yeah, it's good.
Dot.
Puts his hand tighten even further, and he did red and mixed into his orange smoke. Based on my reactions, he seemed to sense where those weak points were and began to target them. Guh.
Guh.
Oh god.
Waves of pleasure as one after another, spreading through my body. Instinctively, I grabbed Taku's jacket with one hand, digging my nails into his arm with the other. I'm gonna come. The pain of the words out, he buried his face into my shoulder blade, enveloping my body and fully concentrating on his task.
Duh.
His warm breath hit my neck. Was it turning him on too? I thought you were straight.
I convert you.
This thing converted him? Oh, God.
Don't call it a thing. He's a human too.
The next instant, his fingers pressed down hard, squeezing my weak spot. A jolt of electricity shot my spine, carrying me to climax. My mind went white, and the buildup of heat shot out from my tip, all over my black shirt.
It's got a white
Taku's
stains.
arm. I know. We should be able to
Ew.
I spasmed. As my body swayed, I could finally see my cock, twitching, splattering my load on the Taku's hand. As my shoulders heaved, I looked back over my shoulder at him. He looked both alarmed and mildly worked up. Pursing his lips, he gazed into my eye.
Feel better now?
In response, I lightly sank my teeth into his jaw. Ew. Not yet. I wasn't lying either. My groin was still aching for more. Maybe the drugs made my body craving more after I only just came.
You gotta be kidding me.
No more.
It's not enough. I looked at him feverishly. He started to panic.
What do you want me to do now? Jack you off again?
You have to pleasure
Oh,
me here,
pulls down his
too.
pants.
As I spoke, I got his hand from my cock to my ass. He must have realized what I was getting at because he looked at me in alarm.
Now hold on a minute. I told you I don't got any experience doing it with men.
I don't got any experience in general.
Then don't worry about it. Yeah, go call him his like mini hookups. Like, why are you making him do it?
I know. No, because he wants it now. You know, now.
Right now.
I'm sure
Right
Ray
now.
would be more than happy to stick his cock in his ass. I like go over his hand and slowly rose my feet.
Hey, where are you going?
Somewhere else. In other words, to find a different person.
He literally is leaving. Wait.
Before I could leave, he grabbed my hand.
Stop it. I can't let you do that.
Oh, someone's gotta help me.
Uh,
Timberlake tucked over at his gaze. Then, after a few seconds, he looked back at me with determination in his eyes.
Alright. I'll do it.
Yeah, whips it out. What's up, Junior?
This word's way too much. But I would say, I mean, I just bullied him into it. With that thought, I straddled him as he sat on the bench. So, how do you want to do it? I spoke in a playful voice, perplexed the talkie crowd.
I could ask you the same question. What am I supposed to do?
But you're dicking me.
Oh!
The blunt response from my people panicked and expression.
Hold it. Hit the brakes on that one. That's a lot to ask a first timer right out of the gate.
Flustered, he blurted the words out. There were a few seconds of silence, and then he slowly looked up at me.
Can I just use my fingies?
I nearly burst out laughing. Not at him, but the fact that he decided he would rather use his fingers. At the same time, I couldn't help but feel a slight urge to mess with him. Sure. He had a sigh of relief.
Alright then, let's go to your place. Doing it here is too stressful for me. I only caved the first time because it's an emergency.
Was it? Fair.
Your place isn't like just upstairs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I nodded in agreement. Then I hopped off his lap and headed for the elevator.
Oh god.
He seems fine now. I don't think this is...
Nah, Toa's definitely still just egging him.
Back in my apartment, I turned on the TV. Taki had come in here countless times before, and yet he seemed mildly restless. Lay down on the sofa. While I spoke, I crossed the sea of junk scattered over the room to the one corner of the room.
Okay, don't mind all this junk.
Shit. I'll tell you what I was looking for. I returned to him. Here. I tossed him the supplies and started stripping.
What is this? Stupid condoms? Hey, wait!
My son's strip show caught him off guard. Then I walked up to him and pressed a hand to his chest.
What?
I said, lay down. Stiffly, he loaded himself on the sofa. I turned my back to him, and straddled his hips with my knees bit.
What are you?
You know how this works, right? Put a condom on your fingers and lube it up. Now he's really perplexed. His faintly red tint snug had gone back to its regular orange swing slightly. Admittedly, I knew this wouldn't come naturally to someone who never fucked a guy before. But I don't have time for this. Clucking my tongue, I gestured with my gaze for him to hand me the lube. He as requested. I took the bottle and squeezed some out, wetting my fingers with the clear fluid. Then, without hesitation, I plunged my middle finger between my cheeks, right in front of him. This hole was fucking long.
Ew.
Oh my god, okay. This hole was just fucking cocky every single day, so it's in protest.
Ew.
Oh my god.
What are the words, dude? Oh god.
I hate Toa so fucking much. I slowly worked my finger in and out like I was rubbing it in Taki's face. Like this. Wow!
Mouth agape, like,
Mouth open.
Wait. He watched me pleasure myself, both stunned and faintly blushing, his mouth agog.
Agog. Oh.
The drool starts leaving his mouth.
Wipes it.
When I saw his stomach turn faintly red again, I gloated internally. But when he noticed me looking at him, he scowled and stared back at me defiantly.
I'll give it a try.
Nervously, he slid his middle and ring finger into a condom and lubed it up. Veiled in translucent latex, his fingers reached out and gently wiggled into my rectum. You were small like me, and I always took a few seconds to get used to the feeling of someone else inside me. Taki's fingers were bigger and thicker than my own. When I closed my eyes, I could feel the difference even more clearly.
Oh my god.
He slowly moved his fingers in and out, as if to confirm that this was what I wanted. Normally this slight stimulation would barely register, but because I was so sensitive, it made me melt inside. Yeah. My callous strips of his fingers rubbed against my entrance, teasing me. Harder, rougher. Greedy for pleasure, I closed my eyes and moaned. The next instant, Taki started slamming his fingers in and out.
You can hear like the squelching in the background. Like,
I know. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can feel my cock getting all over again. I found stepping down in time with his movements. Naturally, his fingers couldn't get too deep, but I wanted whatever length they could offer.
Ugh. Taku, why are you saying that?
He's stressed.
Taku let a stressed grunt when I opened my eye. When I looked down, I realized I could see his bulbs through his pants.
Oh.
Taku.
Naughty Taku.
Now that he had finally come around, I hopped off his fingers and crouched down beside him on the sofa. In doing so, his fingers slid out of my ass. He looked at me dubiously, unsure what I was planning. I shot him a provocative look and put my hand on his belt.
Whoa. Hey.
Once he realized my intentions, he started to stand up.
Unzip.
But I unbuckled his belt, unzipped his pants, and pulled his hard cock out of his underwear.
Tilla!
Oh, Toa, what a sly little fox.
And it was massive.
Just
relax.
Oh!
Then I fully put it in my mouth. He sunk in a breath and went completely rigid. Bobbing my head up and down, I ran my tongue from the base to the tip.
Ew.
I could smell sweat mixed with his natural scent. The faint taste of salt danced on my tongue.
Tilla Yamaro!
It's not like you.
Please, I'm straight. I like women. My wife and kids at home.
Just go for my wife.
I could feel his hand pressing against my head, trying to push me off, but I had no intention of stopping. He's literally raping!
Oh god.
As his cock swelled in my mouth, his grip loosened and his breathing grew erratic. I was pretty confident he was getting off to it, however, he suddenly sat up.
Oh god.
And then he leaned over my back, reached out and touched my ass.
Ew.
Taste
God.
oishi.
He followed around and curved my asshole and pushed inside, making me moan over his cock. His fingers buried themselves deep and began to wiggle, teasing me. For a moment, it distracted me from the blowjob, but then I started sucking even harder in revenge. Tucker groaned but kept working his fingers. My cock was now rock hard and dribbling pre-cum. As I sucked his dick, I had subconsciously rubbed my junk against his thigh. I thought you were competing to see which of us would come first. If so, then Taku was at a distinct disadvantage, because I had already one orgasm under my belt. So I intentionally made a lot of slurping sounds as I devoured his meat. His breathing was rough, and his dick was hard. His diamonds. Diamond was there. Please stop.
Diamonds!
Diamonds in the sky.
But the success was threatening to distract me. I struggled to focus.
Oh god.
Stop talking. Oh.
His voice sounded strained. I bobbed up and down. I felt a cock pulse into my mouth. His body went rigid and I felt a hot fluid at the back of my throat.
Oh god, I see it.
Sucked. Ew. Oh my god. Ew. I sucked on lightly, making sure to catch every drop. Yum yum yum. I swallowed loudly. I licked the last bead of semen from his wilted tip.
Oh, bullshit.
Dear Tilla.
You beat me.
I couldn't see his face as he exhaled, but I could picture him looking at me in utter exasperation. I licked my wet lips, put a hand to my half chub, and started jacking.
Yoink, 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 yoink.
I got a lot of stimulation from Taki's thigh. It's almost a climax number 2. Encouraging the tension, I squeezed my weak points. My body's passing. I ejaculated all over thirsty.
Hey, this is it's okay. It's like he's in the scrubs. It's okay.
After I came, I tilted my head back and gasped for breath. After 2 orgasms in a row, it felt like the drug's effects were starting to wear off. But not yet.
But I wanted more.
Almost there.
I tried to move off him, but I didn't have the strength, so instead, I crashed on the floor.
Bro, you okay?
He sat up, grabbed my arm, and helped me back to the sofa. ... Both gasped for breath. I looked over at him. He awkwardly averted his eyes. As the lust faded and rationality took control, he would only feel more and more uncomfortable. Sluggishly, I reached out, grabbed my cigarette off the coffee table, and lit one up. How was it?
How's what?
I smirked at him as I exhaled smoke. Not so bad doing it with guys, am I right? Nonplussed, Taku stood at the floor and rubbed the back of his head.
Did talk like that. I did it because you were in pain. I didn't have a choice.
Then why did you make you come? My playful jab earned me a sharp glare.
Toa!
Didn't it feel good? He faltered and turned away.
I told you, stop talking like that. No comment. And let me bum one.
I looked down questioningly as I stretched hand. I thought you quit.
Oh, right.
He hastily retracted his hand. Then he began to fidget restlessly, lacing and unlacing his fingers over and over. He had to be in quite a state to forget that he quit smoking. It fucking traumatized him. Laughing to myself, I put a cigarette between my lips and slowly rose to my feet. Well, I had a pretty good time. ... You did great, considering it was your first time with a dude.
Toa!
Oh my god.
He acted like he was mad at me, but his cheeks were faintly flushed. He was about to say something else, but instead he buried his fists in both hands. Then, with a heavy sigh, he rose to his feet.
Post-nut regret.
You leaving? You like kick him out.
You know what? I don't care what Tono does to you now.
I hate you. I'm angry at you.
He stopped and turned back, his expression conflicted.
I'm mad.
My wife, Toa. Then he left the room without another word.
What am I gonna tell my wife and my 2 kids?
I miss my wife, Tails. If I had to guess, a lot of different emotions had probably set in. The Taku I knew was an honest guy. Maybe he felt a pang of guilt or regret or something. I don't care.
Anyways, Sarah.
Shower.